Hi, Canastota. I'm Sean Becerra, Superintendent of Canastota Central Schools, and this is the weekly video update for Friday, August 20th. I'd like to start this week by thanking our school community for participating in the virtual informational sessions we've held over the past couple of weeks. People have been overwhelmingly supportive of the school as we navigate through the latest round of COVID-related challenges, and we really appreciate all of your participation and cooperation. I realize that all of the uncertainty wears on everybody, and we appreciate your understanding as we try to make sense of everything as all the different types of new information comes at us each and every week. I'd also like to acknowledge the many people who have raised questions and concerns in a productive way. We will continue to try to address questions and concerns that you bring up. And just like we did last year, we'll be creating a question and answer document that will be posted on our website that will be updated and expanded over the course of the lead up to opening day and beyond. We hope you'll find this to be a useful tool in understanding exactly where we are in our entire reopening process. I do want to address one question or concern that was brought up regarding our virtual reopening sessions. In fact, someone had made a comment that perhaps the school was hiding behind a computer screen during these sessions. The reality is that the feedback we've received is that holding these sessions virtually has allowed more people to participate, and the sheer numbers of people tuning in have been much larger than when we've had in-person sessions. So if anyone has interpreted our conducting virtual sessions as avoidance behavior, I assure you that's not the case. We want to be really clear that anyone who wants to meet, we'd be glad to meet. And I certainly would be glad to meet with anyone who would like to meet in person. In fact, I always prefer to speak to people face to face rather than have to talk through a computer screen. So the invitation is there. If anyone is wanting to meet with us directly, we'll be glad to set that up. There have also been a couple of frequent questions already coming in. So I'll address them right now. One was about whether or not students can have mask breaks during the day. And the answer to that is absolutely. Students will be allowed to have mask breaks during the course of the school day. We understand that nobody enjoys wearing masks, and we all will need mask breaks. Our staff members will be working with our students to make sure that they have an opportunity for mask breaks and that the breaks are done in a safe manner. Another frequent question is whether or not a quarantined student can access their class remotely. The answer to that question also is yes. We realize that we will likely have students who are quarantined during the school year, as we did last year. Hopefully those numbers of quarantined students will lessen as we move into the school year. But knowing that it's a reality, we will work with families to arrange for access for students to access their class through streaming if that makes sense for that student. I'm expecting that our reopening plan will continue to evolve as circumstances and guidance changes in the coming weeks. However, I fully anticipate that the next phase of our reopening plan will be ready next week. I'm hoping that by releasing phase one of our plan, as we did last week, where we already addressed most of the questions people have been concerned with, like masking and remote learning, has been helpful. As we noted last week, much like the vast majority of districts in upstate New York, Canastota will be implementing universal masking within school facilities and on buses, as per the CDC, American Pediatrics Association, and the State Education Department recommendations. Additionally, we will be utilizing an in-person model of instruction as recommended by the New York State Department of Education. Again, we will be using an in-person model of instruction for the school year. This brings me to my final point, that earlier this week, we released an important survey for our families to complete. Your feedback is essential on this survey, as we need updated information about your status regarding school transportation for this year. It's very important that you complete this so that we are sure to have accurate, updated bus routes ready for the first day of school. Additionally, anyone who has a documented medical condition impacting their ability to participate in in-person instruction should indicate so on that survey. Again, we are utilizing an in-person instructional model this year. So any request for consideration of an alternate option would involve a medical review process consistent with the established expectations outlined by the state. Our survey remains open through this Sunday. As we continue to talk about COVID by necessity, fortunately, there are many positive and exciting things happening around our school. So there are a lot of things beyond the world of COVID. As much as possible, I'll try to highlight some of the great opportunities available to students and their families as we launch a new school year in upcoming updates. But until next week, I hope the rain stops and everyone can get outside to enjoy one of the few remaining weekends of the summer, and go Raiders.